The international break is finally over and Real Madrid will be facing up against a brutal month and a half worth of games in which we will finally see what this team is truly made out of. What's up guys? Welcome back to El Merengue Culé. It's been some time and I am so happy to be back, and I'm sure some of you will be noticing something different, which is the brand new jersey, this year's jersey. But wait, it's not the only thing that's new, because we have another brand new jersey, the home jersey for this season actually, which for those of you that already follow the account know that one of you will be getting this jersey from Real Madrid at the end of the season. And how do you get this jersey, you may ask? And let me just throw on that it's a Karim Benzema jersey. Look at the beauty, look at that beauty. Anyways, you may be asking yourself, how are we going to get this jersey? And that will be via commenting down below your score predictions for this game. But it's not just for this game, but rather for the rest of the season. Here are the leaderboards so far, and the person that finishes top of the leaderboards by the end of the season with the most correctly predicted scores for our games will be getting this Karim Benzema home jersey. And now let's go ahead and get started with this pre-game analysis against Villarreal, a Villarreal team that we're going to be playing on their home stadium, a stadium that is historically pretty difficult for us, in which we have tied our past 3 games that we've played there against them. Not only that, but Real Madrid has not gone on to beat them twice, like back-to-back, since 2014. And yes, we did beat them last season in our own stadium 2-1. So if we beat them this time, then it could be our back-to-back. However, that has not happened since 2014. Let's go ahead and talk a little more about Villarreal, a little more in-depth analysis for them. Where are they currently located in La Liga? And that is second place. They're having a pretty good season so far, having won 5 games, tied 3, and lost only 1. That loss actually came to our rivals Barcelona, which was a 4-0 defeat in a completely outlier of a game. Guys, this does not speak of how good this Villarreal team really is. Honestly, I watched that Barcelona-Villarreal game and I was so shocked at what was happening. It was a Villarreal that, in my opinion, seems to not show up whenever they play against Barcelona, but whenever they play against every other team in La Liga, they very much show up, especially when they play against Real Madrid. So we can expect a very difficult game this time around. And so, yes, they had that big defeat against Barcelona, 4-0. However, since then, they have gone undefeated in their last 6 games, leading to this one. So, in that run of games, they did face up against Atletico Madrid, another one of the huge rivals of the season, probably a big contender for the title. And they actually tied them 0-0. And from that, let's go ahead and hop on to some of the key strengths that I've highlighted from this Villarreal team. Which, number one, being their squad depth. They have wonderful players all around. They made great signings this summer, bringing in Coquelin, bringing in Parejo from Valencia. Their midfield is just stacked. And on the bench, they have our very own Takefusa Kubo, who can come in at any point and do some heavy damage on us. Additionally, from their squad depth, I think the biggest strength from this Villarreal team is their attacking capabilities. Not only do they like to press very high, suffocate that team, make them lose the ball just from their own third, but also they have very good counter-attacking capabilities with the likes of a very fast winger who they have, known as Samuel Chukwueze, something like that. Samuel Chukwueze. Additionally, they have players like Gerard Moreno, Paco Alcacer, Carlos Vaca. Like I said, their squad depth is just enormous, and their attacking capabilities are just very, very good. However, on the other side, their weakness, I would think, is their defense. Historically, in my opinion, this Villarreal team is a team that, like I said, attacks very well, but sometimes their transition to defense is not the greatest, which is something that we definitely saw in their game against Barcelona. However, with that being said, the other games that they've played in La Liga, they actually have showed a little more solidity in defense this season compared to previous years. They've only conceded 9 goals this season, which, if you take out those 4 against Barcelona, that's really only 5 goals in a span of about 9 games that they've played already, which is not horrible, especially when you consider that Real Madrid has also conceded 9 goals this season. So I really can't talk down too much on their defensive capabilities when Real Madrid is having their own problems defensively as well. So that's just kind of the one key that I think Real Madrid could exploit, in the fact that Villarreal can sometimes have bad defensive transitions, which I will want to exploit with my lineup that I will be giving you at the end of the video. Make sure you stick around for the end of the video to hear my lineup and to hear my score prediction. Okay, moving on to players to watch from Villarreal. I've already named a few other players, but the two that I'm definitely going to be highlighting are Gerard Moreno and Paco Alcacer, the ex-Barcelona man, who combined have 9 goals this season in La Liga, which both of them are in the top 10 of the goal scorers of this campaign. And like I said, I don't have to talk more about these guys. They are lethal. Paco Alcacer with 5 goals and 2 assists. Let's go ahead and move on to Real Madrid. What's up with us? We have a lot of issues going in the club, guys. A lot of uncertainty with injuries, with playing styles, with COVID cases. Just a lot of chaos going on, which I think is keeping us from focusing on getting better, right? Because we keep having these setbacks. However, with that being said, we just gotta roll through the punches. We have good and bad news. Let's start off with the bad news. I usually like to hear the bad news first, so then I can finish off on a better note. So bad news, we have just come back from the international break with a lot of bad news. The first one being Sergio Ramos got injured in that game against Germany, in which he's gonna be out for the next 2 weeks, missing probably the next 3 games here and there. So Sergio Ramos will not be available for this game. As of right now, Varane also came back injured from his game with France. However, it's a shoulder injury, and as of right now, Real Madrid has not released an official statement describing how long he's going to be out for. And they're even holding back their squad list for this game. I think they're trying to wait and see last minute if Varane's going to be able to play. So as of now, we don't know if Varane's going to be at the game. I'm going to say he's going to be at the game. I think they have a high hope that he's going to be, and that's why they're holding out. However, we'll see about that. On top of that, we have Luka Jovic. Luka Jovic, the man who already got COVID once and now has picked up COVID again. During the international break, he actually had a fantastic break, scoring 3 goals, getting 1 assist. It looked like when I saw this happen, I was like, wow, this is perfect. Just what he needed. Picking up some confidence. He's going to come back, and Zidane's going to be able to give him some minutes, and maybe he gets a couple goals there, and that's the beginning of his rise. And now today, this morning, announced that he has gotten COVID-19 once again, which, well, just more bad news to the poor guy. Let's just move on from him. Valverde, as I've already made in the other video that I made at the end of last week, Valverde is injured. We're going to have to deal with his injury. If you want to hear more about how I think we should deal with him, make sure you go check out that video out. Enough with the bad news. Enough with the bad news. Let's move on to the good news. And that is that all 3 of our players who had picked up COVID-19 are finally cleared, being Eden Hazard, Casemiro, and Militao, who come at the perfect time. Because imagine playing these games without those 3 guys, especially the first 2. It would have been just a nightmare. So yes, Eden Hazard's back. Casemiro's back. However, I'm not so sure how game fit they're going to be, right? They've been sidelined for over 2 weeks now with no practice. I hope they've been doing work at home. Who knows? I don't know. We'll have to see about that. Militao is huge though, especially if Varane is confirmed to be injured, because we will definitely only have Nacho left in center back. And on top of that, more good news, we have Carvajal, who returns after being down for over a month. So finally, we can have a right back. No more Lucas Vázquez at right back. He did a great job, I will say that, but we want Carvajal back. So that's the good news. And so obviously the importance of this game is that we need to bounce back from that loss that we had against Valencia. A loss that was very tricky because we obviously were penalized by a lot of penalties, which were fair, but you know, it just sucks the way it happened. It sucks. But anyways, we need to bounce back. Zinedine Zidane's got to show us that he still has what it takes to guide this team to success, to victory. So it's a huge game for us, and we want to get this month and a half started off in the right foot. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on to my lineup. And this was, even though a lineup that we have a lot of injuries, which should theoretically make it easier, I found it to be a very tough lineup to make, especially with what I had said the previous video, in which I basically mentioned how Zidane needs to make changes to this team. He needs to change lineups. Well, I'm gonna be kind of reverting from that just for this game, because I think we should be sticking to the 4-3-3 lineup just for this match, like I already said earlier, because of the fact that we need to exploit a counterattack capability against a Villarreal team that struggles defensively, especially the transition to defense. So with that being said, I'm gonna be opting for a 4-3-3 lineup. Courtois in goal, no doubts about that. Carvajal is going to slide right back into that right back slot. In the center back spots, I'm going to have Nacho, And if Varane recovers in time, then I will put him in that center back slot. If not, then Militao will have to jump in there. I hope he's game fit. He has not played a game in probably 2 months, a month and a half. Not good, I know. Left back spot, Mendy, no questions asked. Marcelo, you can sit on the bench. And then the three in the middle, I'm going to be going for Casemiro, another man who has not practiced in a while, so that'll be interesting, but we just don't have any more options. Casemiro has to play. Alongside Casemiro, we're going to have Toni Kroos, a shoe-in. And then the other center mid spot, I'm going to opt for Martin Odegaard. So those are my 3 center mids. And up top is where it kind of gets a little hard because I do want to start Vinicius due to his pace. However, due to his current form, something about it doesn't seem right. And then we look and we see Hazard, who has not trained in so long, over 20 days. And it's also seems like not the best choice. However, I'm going to end up opting for Eden Hazard on the left just because it's Hazard. So you can't, like, if he's available, he's got to play. So Eden Hazard's going to be on the left. On the right wing spot, another tricky spot. Part of me wants to put Rodrigo just because he's been playing a little bit better. He's got a little more pace than Marco Asensio. However, I'm going to end up opting for Marco Asensio just because he has a little more experience when it comes to these games. But I don't want to discard the possibility of Rodrigo or even Vinicius being on that right-hand side. I think it's so important that we have a lot of pace, which Hazard and Asensio don't really have. It's going to be very tricky. That's a tricky one right there. However, up top, no questions asked, we're going to have the man, the myth, the legend, Karim Benzema, who has actually scored in his last 4 games in La Liga. He should be back from his slight injury that he picked up against Valencia in our last La Liga game. And before giving my score prediction, I want to remind you guys once again to make sure you leave your comment down below to potentially get the chance to earn this beautiful home Real Madrid jersey by the end of the season. But anyways, without further ado, I will be predicting a 2-1 victory for Real Madrid. And this is very, very tough. I really pondered this for a while. I was between this or a tie, which could be very likely. However, I'm going to go ahead and stick for a win for Los Blancos. 2-1. It's going to be, like I said, a very, very, very close match. But I do see us getting that second goal closer to the end of the game. When the game is tied, we're pushing for it. Villarreal is also pushing for it because they're not going to be a team to defend a tie. And we're going to be able to find that opening. So hopefully, we get started off with this horrible month and a half that's coming up. This very tough month and a half that's coming up with the right foot. With that being said, guys, I will be seeing y'all tomorrow for that post-game analysis video. As always, I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and a la Madrid.